time to explain now, Shaggy. We gotta get the sheriff.
Let's take this back way out.
Leave it to Daphne to pick the wrong door.
Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and I thought for our introductory to this year's summer would be the king of all teenage movies or TV shows, Scooby-Doo. More importantly, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Created in 1969 for Hanna-Barbera, and this became the template for most of their mystery shows throughout the 70s and 80s, which included such things as The Funky Phantom, Speed Buggy, Goober and the Ghost Chasers, The Buford Files, The New Shmoo, and one of my personal favorites, Clue Club. They all followed a general outline of a group of teenagers traveling somewhere, a lot of times with some anthropomorphic pets. The Funky Phantom, of course, had a ghost and a ghost cat. Speed Buggy had an anthropomorphic car where they traveled around in the Doom Buggy. It was 70s, so Doom Buggies were all the rage. Getting into adventures and solving crimes and such. Of course, Goober was a dog. The Buford Files had a dog. Always a lot of dogs in these. The New Shmoo had a shmoo, which was a character originally created by Al Cap for Little Abner. And of course, Clue Club had two dogs. Now, Scooby was the preeminent show for Hanna-Barbera all through this. Whereas most shows that I just mentioned would have one season and then get those rerun over the years, Scooby-Doo kept coming out with new shows. And we started with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Then there was the new Scooby-Doo movies, which were an hour-long episodes that had a special guest star. You'd have like an animated version of Jerry Reed or Don Knotts, or a character like Batman and Robin appeared in a couple. The Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, even though they were no longer making stuff, they had the characters. Or the Addams Family had an episode. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting one. Then they had the Scooby-Doo show. Then they introduced Scooby-Doo and nephew, Scrappy-Doo, which was a puppy. And that became a big thing on its own, where other shows, not necessarily Hanna-Barbera, would add that. Mostly like, I think Ruby Spears was the big one, because they had Fang Face. And then you had Fang Face and Baby Fang. And then there was Plastic Man, and then Plastic Man had Baby Plas. And let's see, we also had around this time the Scooby's Laugh Olympics, in which we had a large conglomerate of Hanna-Barbera characters that would compete in sports. We also had a repackaging of old episodes called Scooby's Mystery Funhouse. After that, we had Scooby and Scrappy Doo Puppy Hour. If I remember correctly, that was they would have an old episode of Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And then an episode of Scooby and Scrappy Doo. Then they had the new Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo show, followed by the new Scooby Doo Mysteries. An interesting one was the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, in which Vincent Price appeared. And they had inadvertently released 13 ghosts, and so for the rest of the season they had to go and collect them. Although I don't think they had an actual definitive ending episode. But I could be wrong on that. And they ended out the 80s with the very funny A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, which was sort of like the origins of the gang. Of course, this is not counting all the stuff that came after us. That was just the 69 to like 80, 89, 90. They had tons of other stuff. There was the live action movies with a CGI Scooby. There was all the straight to video animated films, the new shows like Mystery Incorporated and Scoob. And it goes on. And there's even a new live action show coming out this year sometime, Scooby-Doo Origins. But let's get to the first episode of the first series, What a Night for a Night. And we open with a package that's going to be delivered to a museum.
Holy hallucination!
Ooh, spooky. Well, next we cut to Scooby and Shaggy, who are walking home from the movies. And then after some slapstick shenanigans with the frog, guess what they come upon? Yeah, that laugh track is going to be playing almost continuously throughout this episode. Pretty standard for this kind of a show back then. Anyways, Shaggy and Scooby run back to wherever the rest of the gang's hanging out, probably the malt shop. That was usually where you found them. And tell them about the truck, and they all come out to see what it's all about.
I wonder who this creepy hunk of tin belongs to.
Well, the name on the crate says Jameson Hyde White, Professor of Archaeology, London, England.
Now, if only there was a clue as to where this was going.
Hey, what's this? It's a delivery label that says, "Delivered to the County Museum."
How fortuitous. Well, they pack up the suit of armor and take it to the museum, where they meet the curator, Mr. Wickle. And he has some very interesting information to bestow on them.
Because of the legend.
Legend?
Yes, the Black Knight is supposed to come alive when the moon is full.
Ah, a legend, eh? Well, any of you regular Scooby-Doo fans who've seen all the episodes know exactly what that means.
Perhaps.
But I won't go into it here. Oh, Scooby finds another clue.
Ruffles?
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Come on, Scooby. We're leaving.
We have a title! Yes. We have a title, yes!
A weird pair of eyeglasses. Wonder what they are. Yeah, I know you know what they are, but for the sake of the show. Anyways, once Scooby shows this to the gang, they head to the library for some research.
Here it is. They're a special type of magnifying glasses used by jewelers, scientists, and archaeologists.
Archaeologists, eh? But wait, there's more.
It says here, made only in England.
Archaeologists?
England?
Professor Hyde-White!
Could be.
So, obviously they gotta head back to the museum. But it's after hours. And it's locked. Although there is a window up at the top floor, and Shaggy, being the skinniest, might be able to fit through it. So they get a ladder out of the mystery machine.
It won't reach. I guess we don't get in.
Well, we don't get in. We'll never find out what happened to the missing professor. Shaggy, you start up, and I'll get the jack out of the mystery machine.
Right.
Ah! What was up with Fred's arm there? Anyway, they start jacking the ladder up. But
That's it. No more jack.
He still can't reach it. Don't worry. Shaggy's the swingingest gymnast in school.
Shaggy's a gymnast? Sure. Well, he manages to jump and limber himself into the window, which leads to a pratfall of epic proportions. And then, because we haven't had any creepy stuff so far, we get this as he makes his way to unlock the door.
Holy hallucination!
So, not only is the suit of armor all cursed, so's that Aztec-looking thing there. Eesh. Well, after we get inside, we have the inevitable let's split up, where Velma and Freddy, or Daphne and Freddy will be one team, and Velma and Shaggy will be the other. Scooby, they want to leave on guard at the door, but he's not thrilled with that one. So we get our first reoccurring trope.
Would you do it for a Scooby snack?
Who?
Okay, two it is.
Yep, the inevitable Scooby snack, which was a recurring gag throughout the rest of the series, as is the one coming up. See, Scooby doesn't stay on guard duty long before he gets spooked, and he runs to Shaggy and Velma. And then Shaggy gets separated because he's not paying attention, and we get the next great humorous trope. Yes, it's the Velma loses her glasses joke, which he again did at just about every episode. It was actually created by an accident. The actress who plays Velma, when they were doing a table read through, misplaced her glasses, and so she was fumbling around saying, "I can't find my glasses. I can't see a thing without them." They loved that so much they wrote it into the show. But this actually works to her advantage in this scene.
Knows I can't see without my glasses. Oh, there you are, Shaggy.
Yes, some good old slapstick humor for Velma. Of course, she never realizes her mistake, but does get back with Shaggy. She gets her glasses back. The whole group reconnects. And Scooby has some shenanigans with a dinosaur bone before he hears Velma say they need a clue, thinking it's saying Scooby-Doo, and he tackles Shaggy, which leads to a discovery.
Wait a minute. There's a picture missing from the wall. Maybe that's a clue. We better tell the others. Right?
But when he gets the gang back to where the painting is, they find this.
There's no picture missing, Shaggy.
Well, it was a minute ago.
Some clue.
Well, if that's blood, that's a clue.
Interesting. Painting's returned. Oh, that's not blood. That's fresh paint. And there's a trail. And that trail leads to a mummy case.
Hey, look, a secret room.
Somebody sure is a messy housekeeper.
Jinkies! It must be another clue. Well, about this time, the Black Knight shows up, and we get another of Scooby's patented comedy that appeared in a lot of episodes. Well, that was something Scooby did a lot back then. It's always one of the more amusing moments. Of course, they get a big chase through the museum. It all ends up in the, I guess, war section or army or whatever. Anyways, Scooby and Shaggy are hiding in a plane when Scooby's tail inadvertently starts the engine. And now they're the one chasing the Black Knight.
We did it, Scooby-Doo. We did it.
Wait a minute. Moving on.
Holy demolition.
That's my dustpan.
That worked pretty well. Well, we know it's the unmasking time now.
Just as we thought.
It's the curator, Mr. Wickles.
I'm shocked.
Yes, as all good Scooby-Doo fans know, whoever tells the legend, he's the culprit. Happens every time. Well, with the sheriff called, let's see what this is all about, although I think you already know.
He and his gang were switching their fake pieces of art for the real ones in the museum.
And they made the fakes at night in a secret workshop behind the mummy case. That's why they had to get rid of the professor. He was the only one who could have spotted the fakes.
Unfortunately, we did not yet get the infamous "I'd have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids" line. That came later. There's still the fact that Professor Hyde White is missing.
Probably.
Professor Hyde White!
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes, I know that's the only possible explanation. You know, you've also seen all the episodes many times. Anyway, there's just a few loose ends to tie up.
Then there was no legend.
Positively not. Wickles just used the story to cover up my mysterious disappearance. Somehow he managed to get into the armor down at the train station.
Well, all that's left now is one final gag.
Zoinks! He's alive!
Scooby-Doo.
Yes. One last gag to let the kids know it's all in good fun. Very popular show. I liked it a lot when I was a kid, even though I was only 2 when it premiered. Watched it on Saturdays. Watched it in syndication after school. The original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You played a lot in syndication. As did the new Scooby-Doo movies. Those played well too. Although they would chop them in half so that they would fit a half-hour thing. Anyway, really good episode. The animation is, for the time, pretty good. Although these days it's pretty static. But this show ran for years because it works. The characters, plots, the humor, all good juvenile stuff. Characters all have distinct personality. There's the running gag of Scooby and Shaggy eating constantly, which didn't come into effect till, again, shows down the line. But that was generally a running gag. The Scooby snack gag, Velma losing her glasses, those all stayed. And of course, would have gotten away too if it wasn't for you meddling kids, which is so popular it became a cliche. Just like it was old man so and so, you know. But it still works even today, and there's a reason they keep making new Scooby-Doo stuff. The character's great, the humor is great, and he's just likable. Who doesn't like a big goofy dog? And there's also the joke that Shaggy can keep up with Scooby. Must have something to do with his gymnastic abilities. Yeah, there's not much bad you can say about Scooby-Doo. He was a favorite of mine as a kid. He's still a favorite now. I have the original run of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You on DVD. That's how much I like it. And that's how good it is. It's right up there with my Batman animated series collection. Anyways, that's about it for Scooby-Doo. You can't really give anything negative about it. The show's just too well done. It was Hanna-Barbera at their peak. Some of the other shows, but this one still works. Well, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
Well, at least we know he's inside.